Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I want to be very, very brief. Mr. Speaker, I've had a chance to go through this bill in detail. And let me start by saying that I was in this house together with a few of my colleagues here, like Honorable David Ochieng, Honorable Opiyo, Honorable, who else? Wangwe, of course, the mover of this, the initiator of this bill. I was in this house, in that parliament, when AFA was created. The Agriculture and Food Authority Act was enacted in the 11th Parliament. And I was also privileged in that parliament to have belonged to the Committee on Agriculture, which was initially chaired by my good friend, the current Deputy Governor of Kakamega, the Honorable who? Savula, Ayub Savula. And later on, after we sacked him, he was the first person to be removed as committee chair in that parliament. After just some few months, we replaced him by the Honorable Nur Hassan of Mandera. Mr. Speaker, now with the benefit of hindsight, I can say that it was a mistake to have lumped together very many key sectors, sugar being included, under the umbrella of AFA. By so doing, we lost focus. And these critical sectors, especially the sugar sector, lost the attention it deserves. It deserves. Because the AFA Act killed the Kenya Sugar Board, as it was then known, and introduced what was merely a sugar directorate under AFA. The Speaker, since the enactment of that act up to now, we have only seen the sugar sector going under and under. Under and under. There is nothing to write home about this era of sugar directorate under the AFA framework. And therefore, I must thank the Honorable Emmanuel Wangwe. The Honorable Emmanuel Wangwe, the Venerable Member for Navaholo, and the chair of one of our key committees, PIC. Mr. Speaker, this act, this bill, if of course it is passed and it becomes the Kenya Sugar Act, is introducing the Kenya Sugar Board with all its former powers and a redefined mandate and a more focused approach to the issues of sugar development. Mr. Speaker, therefore, I must say thank you, Honorable Wangwe, for playing your part as a legislator and being part of the history in terms of reviving the ailing sugar sector that is a source of livelihood to millions and millions of Kenyans, especially in the Western Kenya region, and particularly in my own constituency of Ugunja, where for a long time we have grown sugarcane, which has been processed by Mumias Sugar Company. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to go to the details of how the sugar sector has found itself where it is currently. I don't want to go to those details. But we must admit that there are people who have been responsible for the decline in the sugar sector. Those are the people who must watch out for, even as we enact this bill. Sugar has become a cash cow for the who is who in the leadership of this country. Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the sugar sector has been milked dry by people in authority, right from the executive to this house, to the management of the various sugar mills, especially those publicly owned sugar mills. There are people who have become billionaires in this country, and we know them, as a result of the milking of the sugar sector. Some of the sugar factories in Western Kenya are on their knees as a result of pilferage, of theft by persons who are known. We know them. We know them. Some of them are now in UDA. They used to be in ODM. We know them. We donated them. Yeah. And they go around flaunting their ill-gotten wealth, trying to intimidate people. We must call them out. We must call them out. Mr. Speaker, just spare me from the interventions of Honorable Baya and Honorable Chieng. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Wamboka wants to give me information.
Yes. Point of order.
He has information.
Honorable Speaker, I think the Honorable Wandai is doing very well. Is doing very well, and is saying things that Kenya would like to hear. But to the extent that he starts saying that they were in ODM, now they are in UDA, those people who killed the sugar industry, is actually going out of what a respectable leader like Wandai should do. He should stick to the facts. We have not inherited corrupt people from ODM. Corrupt people in ODM still remain in ODM.
Order.
We have not.
I think your point has been heard. Honorable Wandai, proceed. No, Honorable Wandai, proceed. No, he has no capacity.
No, I've allowed him.
Proceed, Honorable Wandai.
The Speaker has declined. Just give him.
Proceed, Honorable Wandai. Many members want to speak on this.
Just hold on, Honorable Wamboka. He will speak after me. The Honorable Speaker, I was just saying this, that some of those people who have milked the sugar sector dry, some of them were in ODM, but now they have found a natural home. They went to the natural home in Uda. And you know them, and you also know them, Honorable Bai. You know them. Yes. We are not, who is speaking? We are not going to allow, even as we enact this bill or this act, for the old practices to continue. And we must put them on notice that the sugar sector employs hundreds of thousands of Kenyans, and that millions of Kenyans derive their livelihood from that sector. Mr. Speaker, to show you the extent of this corruption, the extent of this blatant pilferage, take the case of Miwani Sugar Company. Miwani Sugar Company in the Nyando Sugar Belt, and particularly in Muhoroni constituency, represented ably by the Honorable Jamuku, James Onyango Koyo. Mr. Speaker, Miwani is in a sorry set of affairs. Miwani, as we speak, even though on paper is said to be a publicly owned company, even though Miwani is perceived to be a public company, long changed hands. It's no longer owned by the public. The majority shareholding was stolen by people whose names are known, by the registrar of companies, which have been named. Mr. Speaker, the land, the nucleus estate, including the land on which the Miwani Sugar Factory stands, to the tune of more than 9,000 hectares. 9,000 hectares of land that previously belonged to Miwani is now in the hands of a private entity. The name is called what? Crossley Company Limited, that is owned by people who also have got interest in Kibo's Sugar Factory, are currently the purported owners of over 9,000 hectares of land that belongs to Miwani Sugar Factory, a factory that was owned by the public, land which was donated by our ancestors, our Luo ancestors. The Luo people of Miwani donated this land for the purposes of establishing Miwani Sugar Factory. How can you deprive the Luo of their land and give it to a Muhindi? How? Today I will name them. You are applauding me, so I will name them. How do you take over land that belongs to the public? A size of over 9,000 acres. I am told they were being assisted by some of my who? I don't know about that. But the fact of the matter is that unless and until the issue of Miwani Sugar Company land is addressed, there will be no reforms in the sugar sector, I can tell you. Because Miwani represents the ugly side of the sugar sector. And Mr. Speaker, you know this. You come from very close to that area. I wish you'd ask me some 10 more minutes, so that I can name more names.
Please, yes.
You'll pick it up from where I leave it. Honorable Koyo.
And I'm ready.
If I don't speak for the poor Luo landowners in Miwani, who will speak for them? And therefore, I'm not ashamed. You can call me a tribalist if you wish. But I must speak for the helpless Luo farmers and Luo landowners in Miwani.
Point of order, Speaker. Point of order.
Why do you deprive people of their land and their heritage? Mr. Speaker, another issue that is the cause of the current state of affairs in the sugar sector is the fact that these players are just a cartel. The same people who are doing the sugar milling are the same ones who are doing the importation.
Rai family. Yeah.
I am being told one of them is a Rai family.
Rai family, yes.
How can you be a sugar miller and at the same time a sugar importer? How? How can you? What will stop you from sabotaging the sugar subsector so that you can be given a chance to import? And in most cases, the same characters are the ones who are given licenses for importation. You can go for the records. Even in this new regime. Even in this new regime, if you go to the Ministry of Agriculture, those who have been given licenses to import sugar are the same sugar barons who claim to be millers and at the same time importers of sugar. Until and unless we deal with them, there will be no reforms in the sugar sector.
Linturi is not handshake.
And therefore, as I conclude, I wish to add Mr. Miss because I was derived of my... Mr. Speaker,
Those are ministers of Ruto.
I want to see the EACC. Yesterday, I took a lot of my time at the EACC headquarters in Integrity Center, trying to follow up on my friend Wycliffe Oparanya's case. And I was blocked from entering the EACC. Mr. Speaker, I would want to see the EACC in the same manner it is going for the Oparanyas, to even at a higher speed go for these fellas who have stolen money from the sugar sector, who have brought our sugar factories to their knees, who have killed the sugar sector in general. Mr. Speaker, I conclude that let us pass this bill, but be cautious. I am happy for the first time that we are not going to see a situation where a directorate in AFA is managing the sugar sector without the mandate or authority or the power or the capacity. Now the sugar board is being recreated. I hope it will have the mandate and the independence to play its rightful role in the management and development of the sugar sector. Thank you. I support.
The Honorable Malulu Njendi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I first of all want to thank Honorable Wangwe for reviving this bill, which was with us in the 12th Parliament. And I hope that this time around, after our deliberations, the Senate will first